When you're next at Alresford, have a look around, especially at the country end towards Winchester of the station. You may see a locomotive receiving some tender loving care. This is a Standard 4 tank, and this is her story. The Standard 4 tank engines were a BR design based off an ex-LMS Fairbairn tank. Designed at Brighton and overseen by Robin Riddles, the principal modifications to the Fairbairn design involved modifying the tanks and cab to be curved in order to fit into the L1 loading gauge. This was required as Fairbairn tanks were designed to work on the southern region, which had wider loading gauge than the rest of the network. So designing a locomotive that could run across more than one region was certainly in BR's interest. Along with the cab and tank modifications, the cylinder size was reduced and the working boiling pressure was increased. The Standard 4 tanks entered service between 1951 and 1956. Most of the 155 strong class were built at Brighton, with 15 being built at Derby and 10 at Doncaster. Originally there was an order in place for a further 15 of the class to be built, but this was cancelled due to the impending dieselisation of the network. 80150 was one of the last of the class to be constructed, emerging from Brighton Works towards the end of 1956. Initially shedded at Brighton, she was later allocated to Eastleigh, where she would work regular trips over the Midhants Railway. The Standard 4 tanks were allocated across all regions of the network, excluding the Western region, working suburban and freight services. Their lives, however, were short-lived, and between 1962 and 1967, the whole class were withdrawn and sent for scrapping. 80150 only saw 9 years in operation, before being sold to the Wooden Brothers for scrap in 1965. She remained at Barry almost until the end, with parts being removed off her to assist the restoration of her sister locomotives. She became part of the Barry 10, the name given to the group of the last 10 locomotives to remain there unsold, many of which were dismantled and their parts used for new build locomotives. Eventually she was acquired by the Vale of Glamorgan Council for the Vale of Glamorgan Railway. Due to the redevelopment of the Cardiff Docks area, the Barry 10 were relocated to part of Barry Island Station. Following the opportunity to undertake some cosmetic work, the loco headed back to Barry Island for storage. In 2011, the locomotive was acquired by the Midhants Railway Preservation Society, and she moved to her new home at Alresford. Initially she remained stored down the head shunt, being viewed as a long-term restoration project. Fortunately, the cosmetic work in Cardiff ensured the engine was in reasonable condition, considering she had not seen service since 1965. A group of volunteers formed a group dedicated to returning the locomotive to running order, by no means an easy task, considering how much of a locomotive had been removed for other projects while at the scrapyard. The mission was to refresh the cosmetic restoration and save the loco from further deterioration, and also to gather as many missing parts as possible before the locomotive enters the works at Ropley for restoration. In total, 15 of the class were saved from the cutter's torch, with 80078 visiting the railway during the 2017 End of Southern Steam Gala, providing a look into the future of what we can expect to see when 80150 returns to service. And this is the state she's currently in. She's got a group of dedicated volunteers working on her to try and bring her back into working order. And I could continue, but I think it's best to hear from one of the group themselves.
Hello, my name's Martin Orford. I'm the project leader of the Friends of 80150 group, and I'm delighted to say we've just restarted our working parties for the first time since lockdown. We've got a programme of social distancing which has been approved by the Railways Management, and we're very pleased to be back. So this is our loco, this is 80150, which we're very proud to be doing some work on, and we'd like to show you a little bit about what we've done. Okay, if we go forward, you'll see we have a tarpaulin over the cab. We do have a cab roof up at Rockley, which we're very much hoping to get put on the loco sometime this year if at all possible. It was paid for completely by public donations, and it will provide a permanent cover to keep everything below it in good condition. So it's got a restoration purpose and it's got a conservation purpose as well. And we're very grateful to all our donors for coming up with the money for it. And you can see as we move further along, we've painted all the wheels, we've painted the tanks. The tanks, surprisingly, all this stuff here, that's just plate work on the cab, that's not the actual tank, that's all repairable. The bases of the tanks are actually in reasonably good condition, so we're hoping we can get away with a refurbishment on those. So, you know, people think of this as one of the worst ex-Barry locos. There are a lot of very good bits on it. So as we move forward, you'll see that quite a lot of the motion's missing, so that's something that we'll have to replace a bit further down the line. But again, everything's getting painted, everything's coming back into good condition. You'll notice here that we have revealed the left-hand steam pipe for the first time since 1962, which we think was the last time anybody saw it, which is when it would have had its last general overhaul. So the boys have revealed that today. We've got the cover off, and Mike has very kindly painted it for us, and it looks good to go for when the loco's finally restored. So as we move to the front end, you will see that quite a lot of work's been done here. All of the plate work on the front end was missing. It was all stripped off in its scrapyard days, and we're gradually putting bits back. So this bit's been restored. I did that one at home. This is off of another loco from Barry scrapyard. We don't know which one. And we've got the step from the other side as well. We've got the centre platform, which we've restored. So everything underneath the loco on the pony truck is now covered up. So that's another thing that will help preserve the loco until eventually we pull it apart and do the restoration on it. So that's from one end to the other. As you'll hear, there's a lot of banging going on the other side as Ollie and Les are trying to get the other steam pipe cover off. So I think they're being successful, judging by all the noise. So anyway, there you have 80150 from one end to the other.
Hi there, I'm Richard Bryan, part of the Friends of 80150. Behind me is the loco itself. I run the Facebook group for it, which is called Friends of 80150, so please come and add yourself on there. Heritage Railway magazine is out this month. As you will see, there is a lovely article on the loco itself. This is issue 270, which runs until 3rd of September. Otherwise, you'll have to look at the back issues.
And there you are. Even though she's not ready to steam just yet, work is progressing well. And even though she's not running, she is a very fine addition to the fleet here at the Mid Hants Railway, the Watercress Line.